I didn't want my wife to surrogate for her best friend, but she chose to go through with it anyways, so I am refusing to help her with the consequences of her actions. We'd agreed years ago, no more kids. She has a 16-year-old daughter from when she was a teen, and we were both done with that chapter. Then her best friend Soren asked if she'd carry for him and his husband. She came home one Tuesday and announced she'd already said yes. I stared at her. You agreed to this without talking to me? It's my body, she said, arms crossed. I'm doing this for them. I told her this was a massive decision that affects both of us. That pregnancy isn't just 9 months. It's doctor visits, dietary changes, physical limitations, emotional stress. She told me I was being selfish, that Soren had been there for her through everything, and she owed him this. Fine, I said, but don't expect any help from me. She laughed. Actually laughed. You're bluffing. I wasn't. Week 12 hit, and reality started settling in. She'd come home from work exhausted, collapsing on the couch. Can you grab me some crackers? The nausea's bad. There's crackers in the pantry, I'd say, not looking up from my phone. I meant from the store, the salt-free ones. Call Soren. Her face would go red. Are you serious right now? Completely. I kept doing everything I normally did. Cooked dinner, but only enough for me and her daughter. Cleaned the house, went to work, paid the bills, the pregnancy-specific stuff. That was Soren's department. Week 16, she started getting cravings. 11 p.m. on a Thursday, she shook me awake. I need ice cream. Cookie dough specifically. I rolled over. Soren delivers, I'm sure. You're being ridiculous. I'm being consistent. You made this choice. They're the parents. I'm just the husband who got overruled. She called Soren. I heard her on the phone, crying, telling him I was being cruel. He showed up 40 minutes later with 3 pints of ice cream. Month 5, Soren and his husband Weston started really getting involved, texting me during work, calling me selfish, saying I should be supporting my wife through this beautiful journey. I finally called them back. Let me be clear. You two wanted this baby. She agreed to carry it. That makes you 3 the involved parties. I'm just the guy who lives here and pays half the mortgage. You want her supported? You support her. Weston started yelling about marriage vows and partnership. I hung up. That weekend, my stepdaughter pulled me aside. Is mom okay? She's been really emotional lately. She's pregnant with someone else's baby. I said, that's between her and them. She nodded slowly. I think she regrets it. She was right. Week 22, my wife came into the living room at 2 a.m. I was still awake watching TV. She sat down next to me crying. I made a mistake, she said quietly. I didn't say anything. I thought this would be easy, that it would just be 9 months and done. But my body's changing. I can't sleep. I'm uncomfortable all the time. And you, her voice cracked. You won't even look at me anymore. I told you this was a bad idea, I said. You told me to deal with it. I know. I'm sorry. I should have listened. We sat in silence for a while. Then she said, can we do marriage counseling after the baby comes? I thought about it. Yeah, we can do that. She looked relieved. Then I said, but I think you should stay with Soren and Weston for the rest of the pregnancy. Her face fell. What? They're the parents. They should be there for the daily stuff, the doctor appointments, the midnight cravings, the emotional breakdowns. That's what parents do. And since you chose to do this despite my objections, you should be with people who actually wanted it. That's my home too, she whispered. And you made it very clear this pregnancy was your choice alone. So make the full choice. I called Soren the next day, explained the situation. To his credit, he agreed immediately. They had a spare bedroom, and honestly, I think he felt guilty about how everything went down. She packed her stuff on a Saturday. Not everything, just enough for the next 4 months. Her daughter watched from the stairs. When my wife's car was loaded, she hugged our daughter goodbye. Then she looked at me. I really am sorry. I know, I said. We'll figure it out after. After she left, my stepdaughter came and sat next to me on the couch. I'm staying here with you, she said firmly. Not going with mom. This is my home. I put my arm around her. I know, kiddo. I know. That was 3 weeks ago. My wife texts me every few days. Updates about the pregnancy mostly. Sometimes apologies. Soren sends photos of the nursery they're setting up. I respond to her, politely, distantly. My stepdaughter and I have dinner together every night. We talk about school, her friends, normal stuff. She told me last week that she's glad someone finally stood up to her mom. She always gets her way, she said. It's nice seeing consequences for once. I don't know if this marriage survives. Maybe counseling fixes it, maybe it doesn't. But I do know this. The next time my wife makes a major life decision, she'll remember what happens when she does it alone.